hero that allows you to consistently get triples and go for those power levels and the big power spikes will be the king of the meta. So even though I, along with Subtle, am on the Shanvala hype train for ladder, I think your predictions are absolutely on point.
Yeah, I think what's going on is just people are getting better in the patch. The patch came out a couple of days ago, right? So the first day, people were still experimenting. I think now, and after having a previous 8 games of tournament experience, they kind of know what they want. They kind of know what they're looking for. So everything's a little bit cleaner. Everything's a little more dramatic and precise in what picks they're going to make.
And we do see here for Goddammit, there is a Kael'Thas option here. I feel like Kael'Thas has gotten a lot weaker this patch than before because it definitely feels like the amount of health you save in the early rounds with the additional stats you get is immediately offset if you don't hit one of those big power spikes. So I actually really like this pick on Sky Captain Crag for that big burst of gold later on.
Yeah, I think this is a pick you make not in ranked, but in tournament play. What's really been deciding these games is a lot of the direction that you can get on tier 5, tier 6. And with Sky Captain, you can level up earlier than other heroes and get that early advantages rolling on tier 5 earlier than other players.
Right. While a lot of the winningest heroes so far have been heroes that allow you to triple and then just discover the genie, Sky Captain Crab, as you mentioned, has that potential to level naturally to 5 and try and just roll for those big power spike minions. For Habu Gabu here on the Finley, he does pick up the Rafam hero power, which is huge because this is another one of those economy heroes.
Yeah, he it's one of the better heroes to be picking up, and also he has a really good start for Rafam, 2 Murloc, easy minions to triple as well.
Bootylicious on Tess, it's not often we see her, but this is definitely a hero that you can collaborate with your teammate with to maybe help you pick up some triples as well. So if we're talking about meta is all about level to 4, triple into a 5, maybe Tess has some potential here.
Yeah, you can definitely see her prevalence in this patch because everyone's going elementals. If you can get fight a player that has an early Jhin, you can take it for yourself. You fight a player that has an early Rag, you take it for yourself. The only issue is taking too much damage in the early game, but he does have a token start to mitigate a lot of damage.
Yeah, that is huge. And because this is particularly Tess in a team tournament, it's very important that we keep a close eye also on Bootylicious' partner, XQN, and what he can possibly feed Bootylicious the turn after they run into each other.
Yeah. Looks like XQN got a token start. You'll probably buy one of them in hero power and see if that will be good enough to keep or not.
So in terms of what the hero power, is it going to be the refreshing anomaly, or do you want a better 2-drop perhaps rolling on the oh, okay, he's not going to buy the 2-drop at all.
He's going to hero power a token because the token will end up being better than whatever he's hero powering. So this is just like an economy play that makes you stronger on the board as well. Just get the tokens and hero power them.
Yeah, it does seem like the average quality of a 1-drop has gone up a little bit now with Celemental in the pool as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he does also have that free roll that he's manking to utilize when he really needs it.
Decent reborn target to start off for with Oliek here. Not going to be huge damage on the Malagos quite yet, but we can maybe check in with Bootylicious once again because his last fight will determine what kind of board he has access to if he wants to refresh. I don't generally feel like Tess refreshes that early though with the hero power.
Yeah, Tess isn't really made to refresh early because people don't have good minions early, right? They're just picking up the slightly better minions that they can find. Ooh, what a really good roll for Bootylicious here for the next turn. He can get the deflective bot and the refresh pair as well. So the level up working out for him, even though he's going to take a little bit extra damage here, unless he's fighting his teammate.
And he is going to fight off against Goddammit. It's not often you see Tess leveling a bit sooner than the rest of the field, but I agree that last chop wasn't that great. And the fact that he landed the buff on the Imprisoner does give him a bit of staying power. Around this tier, a lot of the minions will have 4 attack max, so it can take some good trades, and this is exactly the pan out here.
Yeah, I think he knew that dumb mid also leveled to 3, and that's what made his decision to level a little bit easier, because that's really just a board state of a person who's leveled to 3. So he understood.
So many token options here. How do you play this out? Do you even take the golem because it's a reset?
I've got some fresh recruits for you.
Yeah, you'd probably just take the deflectable and the golden and the golem, and just maybe roll, maybe use your hero power if you're feeling frisky, but generally just get the mech synergy and roll.
RDU, how does he do this every time? He has Jandis once again with the token start.
It's actually super easy to get triples with Jandis, because you can just hero power the token generators and then just keep them on your board until you get the triple. So you can see what he's trying to do. He really understands his game plan of just waiting. Next turn he'll probably hero power the alley cat again and get 2 5s, and hopefully one of them's a Jin, and then use that to win the game. So he really knows what he's doing. I gotta say, he really understands, this is what I need to do to win. I'm gonna do this every single game. I'm gonna get a Jin. I'm gonna win the lobby.
I suppose I needed to rephrase. How does he get Jandis every time, or Mayava? It's pretty impressive, but again, the downside of this one play is you do take a lot of damage in the early game sometimes, but he is facing off against the best player, Bootylicious, who did level a bit aggressively as well.
Yeah, you can see that he did just take the deflectable and the harvest golem, just going for the safe power. Probably just rolled away the last one goat he had as well. Didn't really need to utilize it for anything else.
I honestly wonder where, if you're in a meta like this and one player knows that RDU is about to power spike really soon, does that just incentivize everybody to put together the most power on board right before the power spike from RDU?
Well, the thing is that we are watching the game, so we know exactly what everyone's doing. Every player is going for. The other players don't have that omnipresent vision that we do, right? They don't know, oh, he's gonna get another Jin. Oh, look at that. He's actually now extremely in the lead and probably gonna start dominating again, right? So you can see that RDU's got that vision of, oh, this is the play to win the game, and just keeps going and going and going. Kind of surprised he sold the 2-4 though.
That is true. Could have been the Elemental maybe getting sold here. Wow, Bran, again, he had this a while ago as well. And somehow, this exact same turn, he is fighting Habu Gabu again. I don't know what kind of deja vu is this, but the turn he power spikes and he's not that strong on board just yet, is when he's facing off against his teammate.
Yeah, really, you're really lucky.
You did mention, of course, the players don't necessarily know what turn it is that RDU is going to pop off, but based on what they've seen from previous lobbies, when you see Jandis, you already know that RDU is going to go for a bunch of triples and be super weak early on. So I think it's a fair inference to make. Then again, the strategy is probably really hard to pull off that early without hurting your overall game plan, but it's just crazy to see this happen time and time again.
Yeah, this usually is either this turn or next turn is usually when the Sky Captain decides to go. It looks like he's going to go for the 4-drop and maybe uses hero power next turn. The only real big issue is that he's against RDU, and RDU is probably looking to spike here. So we'll see what happens and how much damage it might take or deal to RDU.
Super interesting choices. The Mama Bear could give him tempo, but he doesn't necessarily have any beasts in the shop that he wants. Take the brand for overall flexibility.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird because he is going to use the hero power this turn. Okay, so what an interesting adaptation. I didn't think he was going to use the hero power now, but decides to go for it and really needs a big power spike on this turn then.
I honestly feel like this is the play if you know you're facing RDU in maybe the 1 or 2 turn window you have before he absolutely pops off. Maybe he was just trying to get the most stats on board to try and strike RDU while he's within this vulnerability phase.
Yeah, well, he ends up using his hero power just to buy a high main and play it on the board. So I don't know if that was really worth it. His big ability, right? The reason you picked his hero just to get a high main. That's it. Doesn't even play the deflective, but I don't know if that's worth it.
That's true. Oh my gosh! The Battle Master!
Yeah, this is RDU right there. Oh my god, he already has a gigantic Battle Master that's gonna keep him safe and strong for the early game. So it's looking rough for the rest of the lobby already. It's crazy how RDU is gonna pull this off every single game.
I mean, he needed that Battle Master. Well, it's not necessarily Battle Master, but he just needs one shield for the time being, and then he pops off, and he has found it very consistently. I think players will know by now that this is just meta. If you hit Jandice, if you hit one of these easily tripling heroes. Dummit is extremely stressed out now, though, because he knows RDU's scaling potential is insane once again.
Yeah, he understands the flow of the match. He really understands. That's why you see no one's dead, right? But you can see the pain in Dummit's eyes because he understands how strong RDU. He's already in first place. He's got this great setup to win the lobby, and you can just, even in turn 9, turn 10, you already can understand how the match is gonna pan out.
And because you can understand that early on, and say last lobby we were seeing Alexis Diesel go for an unorthodox way to play Murlocs, is there maybe potential for other people to go for that? We do see XUN here is on a beast comp, not much room to transition to anything, but perhaps people will be picking up Poison a bit earlier than usual now.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he didn't sell the 3/3 Imprisoner to play the 3/3 Beast to get the buff from the Mama Bear. I think that would have been slightly stronger for his board that turn, but he was probably just rolling, didn't really care about the Beast and was looking for a better direction.
Man, I was talking about our Olympics in terms of their health totals. The Annihilan can get up there and compete as well. RDU just bouncing it every turn to make sure he has the lasting power while using the rest of his gold to start discovering these big power spikes. And Oliek, with a wry smile, knows that it's happening again.
Yeah, it's actually crazy, honestly. I am impressed how RDU is being able to pull this board out every single game, time after time. Really understands.
Oh no, it dropped a little rag!
Yeah, Genie's broken. I mean, that's really what I've learned watching this tournament so far. The Genie is just like really overtuned in terms of how reliable you can utilize this minion to get a lot of early value and just carry the game from there.
Combined with the fact that Jandice did manage to find the Annihilan Battlemaster, you can see, despite the big Amalgadon on the other side, it didn't quite have the health to really protect RDU, so it's really all about this Battlemaster and the fact that he hero powered it to make sure that he could survive this long is the winning play as well.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of... I kind of want to see what the Ragnaros is doing. His ability should have triggered, and hopefully we can see what his game plan actually is going to do. So yeah, it did trigger, and he does have the 2 Divine Shields, so does have a lot of potential. Oh, and can also hit a triple here, so he does. So a lot of things working out for him this turn.
I do love this from Alexis Diesel. I don't know if he's necessarily forcing Murlocs, but the fact that he's taking Poison this early, even from last lobby, means that he's adapting to the meta that RDU has dictated. It is a really smart strategy when he does face RDU eventually. He will first face off against XUN.
Yeah, I think it's actually fascinating that a player is dictating the meta of this tournament. Like one player, RDU, going Murlocs, going Genie every single turn, every single game, is dictating how other people are responding to the eventuality that you know you'll be fighting this gigantic elemental board. It's really interesting to see.
I mean, it honestly feels like multiple people need to do this to stop RDU, because we saw Alexis Diesel attempt it once, but it wasn't lethal quite yet. We could have seen that if RDU had faced off against a Poison on top of whatever comps a while ago to try and counter the Battlemaster, he was within one board away of possibly taking lethal, given the power level of minions in this.
Yeah, one weakness of RDU's game plan is that he is super weak early. It's really nice. The nice thing about being in a team format is you can eventually fight your teammate and then use that advantage to power spike into the next turns, right? But in regular ranked, right, you're not going to have that teammate giving you that fallback, that window of invincibility. So it is an interesting strategy, very, very effective in this tournament, but I don't know how consistent it is in rank.
for sure. It may be only consistent in rank if you can do quad Q, but here we have the first victim of what I expect to be very many once again from RDU. That is Silver Name biting the dust, which is a huge deal because they were within shooting range of the red team.
Yeah, this gives a big advantage to the other teams with Silver Name falling down first. The other teams can take this opportunity to try to get big jump in points if they can get consistent placements using that advantage.
Alexis Diesel is facing off against Habu Gabu next,
Oh
who
my
is
God.
also putting together a crazy elemental comp. Yes, one team partner has the Rag, the other team partner has the Nomis
Nomi.
and a Golden Genie.
Yeah, it looks like they've been talking, they've been communicating, they've been telling ourselves, you know, it's pretty strong in this meta. You know what I like to do? You know, I like just buying all the elementals. You get Nomi, I'll get Genie and Rag. And they seem to be making it work together. So it's really nice to see.
Teamwork at its finest, but again, this will be the first test for Alexis Diesel trying to force the Murloc poisons. However, for this lobby, he didn't quite get the Murlocs as consistently. Only had the one poison last time we checked in on him, so very unlikely that he'll be able to contest the size of these things from Habu Gabu.
Yeah, maybe nice is not the right word, but disgusting. Really disgusting. Oh, man.
It certainly is the word of the weekend, huh?
Yeah, I do think it is quite impressive that they are both making it work in the same lobbies, just finding the pieces they need, both of them, to really flesh out the compositions they want.
I mean, it's by virtue of the heroes they hit, right? RDU on the Janus, very easy to hit triples. For Tom, also quite easy to hit triples, or at least give you really good economy to be able to level to 5 a bit sooner.
Yeah.
There you have it. This looks like a one-hit KO to me.
Yeah, it's looking rough for everyone, except for RDU. And here it is, the clip of RDU smacking another player, just like last game. It almost looks like deja vu. You every few minutes will go back to RDU knocking another player out. Looks like Habu Gabu's taken on that mantle as well, taking out Alexis Diesel.
And even though this looks very repetitive between lobby after lobby, you have to give credit to players for being able to figure out what the meta is with the very little time that they had. The patch dropped, what, 2 days ago, 3 days ago? Not very much time to practice at all, let alone in a team format.
Yeah, it's impressive. I am rightly impressed, as I should be, with what these players are doing, figuring out how to punish and utilize the aspect of team games to really dominate and really showcase, why these are some of the best players in the world.
Again, do not try this at home, guys, unless you are queuing with a buddy, because going down to 14 on Jandas and not immediately getting stats on board can just mean a quick top 8 instead of a top 1. But absolutely, this is the type of play to go for this tournament.
No.
See Oliesh with a poison is maybe gonna have a shot. I don't know.
No, try it at home. I like winning. Go
Okay.
for it. I'm not against it. Go.
Oh, he doesn't even have a Murloc to land this on. We can obviously see that he will lose the combat. Is there any chance that he doesn't die straight up from 25 in this 2-on-1 situation now, where it's only Oliesh up against the Radu Habu Gabu team?
I was gonna say maybe, but as I'm looking at RDU's board, I'm gonna change that to no. Yeah, it's looking real scary.
A very astute assessment, because I would have to agree there is just way too many stats on the other side. And while the last time we did see RDU and Habu Gabu on a 2-on-1 situation versus Alexis Diesel, it really did come down to the wire with a back and forth poison setup and being able to maneuver around not killing each other. But the fact that the two of them are the strongest on the lobby now, and they don't have to really avoid trying to kill each other because they just kill the other person immediately, is huge.
Yeah, I think it just took Habu Gabu a couple games of calibration, but that attack might actually save his life there, so it looks like he'll still be alive. Yeah, that attack saved his life right there. Massive.
That is true. A little bit more time to find these Murlocs to land the Toxfin on.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be rough because they both have the same board, really.
They do.
Habu and RDU. So if you're struggling with RDU, you're also gonna struggle with Habu. So Elias has to make the massive hero play and find a way to get at least second place here.
Gonna be a tall order. 2 poison hits at the moment, not even a divine shield on his Amalgadon. He finds the deadly spore. Okay. 3 poison hit?
Yeah, but is it enough?
Okay.
Ooh, that's huge though.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 poison hit?
Yeah.
One of them has Wind Fury?
Yeah, there's definitely some value here. He's getting closer to being able to survive. He just needs to beat the Finley here, and hopefully he can get those hits that he needs. Hero powering the poison is really smart as well, giving him as many hits as, because you know that he has 2 Nomis, most likely the last time we saw him. So just a couple problems to deal with.
Very smart. It's the only minion that actually revives with poison if you put the Reborn on it, because it's naturally in the card text. And like you said, Habu Gabu and RDU with the same board. If Corporate showed me 2 pictures of these, I would tell you there is no difference between them.
Yeah, I said he had 2 Nomis, but he understands that he needs to win this round, so he made the smart play of slowing off the Nomis really good. Oh, and the punish.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's hopeless now.
Yeah, maybe if Mama Bear had survived, there could have been enough stats, but I highly even doubt that. Habu Gabu is ecstatic. I don't have the complete math on this, but it certainly feels like it's difficult, if not impossible, for any players to beat their first place lead now after they picked up a grand total of 13 points in this lobby. Red team, so dominant.
Yeah, we thought that the performance was from yesterday was an outlier from RDU and Habu Gabu. Turns out they're actually just that good. They're actually just dominating, you know, every single lobby that they both play. It's really, really impressive to see that they're understanding their teamwork. It's just it's impressive. That's all I gotta say about that. You know, really good play from them too.
And once again, here we are, Collins. We've arrived at the Habu Radu 1-on-1 just for fun at this point.
Yeah.
Does Habu Gabu have any chance, or is this a sell your whole board type of situation?
A lot of these players don't seem to want to just meme and sell their boards. They really do like playing for the you know, the final round and the final match. They want to have that number 1 in their standings instead of that number 2. So they don't really seem to meme and sell their boards. But with 2 Amalgadons on RDU's side, it's really just quite impossible to outpace that scaling that he's got, but we'll see what he can do.
Got 3 poisons. If he can maybe survive the next round, highly doubtful, but try and pick up some selfless heroes. I honestly feel like at this point, you're just meant to buy every selfless you see, even if you already have a triple, just to deny your opponent the extra selfless in the pool.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating that this is the meta. We're seeing gigantic Amalgadons, early Jins, double golden Jins in the final composition. Just a really, really powerful elemental comp. We didn't think it would be so strong, but I do think that the nerf theoretically may have ended up being a buff, putting Jin to 5.
No, you are not wrong, and I'm glad to see that the balance team is at least willing to put out the changes very quickly, but at least for this tournament, it was quite fun to see this type of clownery go on lobby after lobby, because look at the power of these stats.
Yeah, he does have 3. Oh, that's never mind. He did have 3 poisons. Everything went perfectly from that point on. He actually could have tied, but no.
Wasn't 0%, I'll tell you that, but what is 100% is the fact that RDU and Habu Gabu are completely dominant in this tournament. With a first and second place finish, they already had a lead of, I think, at least 6 points between them and second place, and now they add another 13 points on top of that.
Yeah, it's very impressive. The other players do have a lot of work cut out for them. They're still positioning matters. So even if you're in 4th place, you still want to go for 3rd. Even if you're in 3rd, you still want to go for 2nd. So even though it's looking like we know who the finalists, the winners are, you still want to perform the best you can to get the extra part of the prize pool.
That's right. I love that little pun, Collins. Positioning matters in Battlegrounds and also in your placements. We do now see that Radu and Habugabu have now a 13-point lead on the second place black team. I'm not sure if it's mathematically possible for one team to overtake. Probably with still 2 lobbies if they theoretically just get first and second every time, and Radu and Habugabu just get 8th and 7th.
Yeah.
Very unlikely, but maybe miracles can happen here. They've seen RDU strategy time after time. Maybe somebody else can replicate it.
I mean, but you have to look at RDU and look at his placings. 5th, 2nd, 1st, 1st is just nuts. It's actually incredible. And if you take his placings from yesterday as well, just a fantastic performance from this guy, regardless of how this finishes. Just hats off to him.
Yeah, I mean, it is wild indeed. It definitely feels like he's gotten the quickest grasp of this meta. He's also been blessed by Bob with a decent amount of Jandices and also heroes that allow you to spike into tier 5 quite consistently. But I will maintain that there is sparks of hope from the other teams because we're already seeing Alexis Diesel adapt. He was going for early poisons on the Murlocs. If everybody can combine their forces and try to snipe off elemental players like that, maybe for these last 2 lobbies, we'll see a turnaround. The only thing I'm certain of is, unfortunately for the yellow team, it is too much to overcome at this point. I will say it's been very fun watching XQN and Bootylicious, though I think they're incredible players.
Yeah, I've been enjoying watching everyone play. You can see that everyone's skilled, everyone's trying to adapt, right? And you can see that it's not as easy as you think to find a comp that can work, right? So they are trying, they are doing their best, right? You can see that the team play from RDU and Habugabu have been overcoming everything else, but everyone else has been doing the best they can to perform as valiantly as they could.
That's right. And to touch on the point you had a while ago, the placements do matter at the very end here, not just for the bragging rights, mostly for the bragging rights, but because our prize pool is divided with $5,000 for the first place finishers. So each team member, if they're going to divide it evenly, will walk away with $2,500. If you were in a team tournament, Collins, would you split with your teammate evenly, or would you split it based on your own individual standings?
I would split it evenly. I don't really care too much as long as they perform. It is a team game. Your teammates have to perform. So even if you do better overall, if you get the first place, I don't think you care too much. Just split it evenly. Get both of them feeling good.
The nice guy answer. But you bring up a really good point. Even if somebody does fall out a bit earlier, they can still contribute by using some of the information they gained by getting to that point to communicate with their player. And even though we haven't seen it as directly compared to some of the previous lobbies where RDU and Habugabu and a bunch of the other teams have engineered these perfect situations to tie very cleanly, I also want to shout out the green team for that. They are still 100% communicating and giving each other the best percentages. But for me, Collins, that will be the end because the last 2 lobbies will be between you and Soddle. So I want to say thank you very much for casting with me. It's been a ton.